Hi everyone, welcome back to our live sessions that we've been doing in order to increase your knowledge about the business setup and the banking industry of the UAE. It's quite late in the evening, so I hope you guys are already having a good day. And today I would actually like to talk about the taxations in the UAE. Regarding the taxations, this is, I would say personally, having a lot of clients who are setting up their businesses. This is one of the main questions that I get asked. So, my name is Noreen Khan. I'm an assistant team leader here at Dhanguard, and I assist clients in setting up their businesses, getting their visas, opening up their bank accounts, and also receiving a lot of other services in the corporate service industry. So, like I mentioned today, I would like to talk about the taxations. I'm sorry, taxation in the UAE. And as a lot of people know, and as it's very advertised in the UAE as well, the UAE has no income tax. So it does not derive any taxation from the incomes of the individuals, be that expats or citizens themselves of the UAE. So there is a 0% income tax rate. Unlike a lot of the other countries where expatriates leave in order to work in the UAE, and I would say this is one of the main reasons that the UAE actually has a lot of incoming visitors looking for jobs, looking to set up their businesses, etc., etc. So up until recently, and even at present, actually, as compared to other countries, the UAE is considered a tax haven. So it allows a lot of the businesses and individuals to work tax-free. However, with the introduction of corporate tax in the month of June 2023, some things have changed in the taxations policy from the FTA. So the first and foremost tax that was introduced in 2018 was the value added tax. So this type of tax is actually an indirect tax. It's derived directly from the end source, which is the final consumer. This is capped at 5% and it is usually always added to the invoicing of any goods and services that a consumer avails in the UAE. Now, what does it say for your business? So if you're having a business in the UAE, the first question that a lot of us get asked is, do free zone companies need to register for VAT? Now, to just make this clear, registering for any type of tax in the UAE is compulsory. Filing for these taxes can be non-compulsory given if you meet some certain conditions. So again, just to let you guys know, filing is non-compulsory. Registration for VAT and corporate tax is both compulsory, regardless of if you have a free zone company, an offshore company, or even a mainland company. So this is one of the biggest questions. Do I need to register for VAT? If you have a business, then yes, definitely you do need to register for VAT. And this also comes in at, oh, do I need to pay VAT if I only use cash as a form of payment? Definitely. Any invoices that you make, you need to add 5% VAT if you have a TRN, which is the tax registration number. If you have a TRN, you are registered for VAT with the FTA, you need to collect the 5% VAT on any forms of payment, be that cash, check, wire transfer, any invoicing that your company does, you definitely need to have the VAT included in the invoice. So that's a no-go. That's completely a no-brainer. You know, you need to register for VAT 100%. And for the filing periods, we usually file with the FTA. They have a decree that states that you need to file on a quarterly basis. So that's going to be every 3 months. You need to, every 4 months you need to register. You need to file the VAT. So for the filing of the VAT, there are some certain, I would say, havens that have been given by the government. So if you're a free zone company dealing only with other free zone companies, you are not required to pay the 5% VAT. Again, if you're dealing with free zone companies and you yourself have a free zone registered company, you do not need to pay the 5% VAT and this will go under 0% filing. Any business that you do outside of the UAE, let's say for example, I have a trading company and I'm trading goods abroad, I don't need to pay that. I have a consultancy. If I'm providing consultancy for the same as I'm doing right now to one of my clients who is sitting in the US or in the UK, I do not need to ask them for 5% VAT as the service being provided is outside the country. So if you are dealing, if you're a free zone company dealing with a mainland company, in this case, yes, you do need to pay 5% VAT. This is another, I would say, biggest tip. If you're dealing with mainland companies, being a free zone company yourself, 5% VAT is again applicable on any goods and services that you exchange. Apart from this, unfortunately for all our mainland customers, this is a no-go. You need to pay both VAT and corporate tax as there are no tax havens for you. So again, free zone to free zone, no tax. Free zone company conducting business outside of the UAE, no tax. Free zone company dealing with mainland company, there is tax involved, which is specifically at present VAT. And mainland to mainland, mainland to free zone, mainland outside, anything needs to be done on the VAT basis. So this is, I would say, the brief summary regarding the VAT. Obviously, there are a lot more things involved in the VAT process, how much you need to file, what you need to file, what are the expenses, income, etc., etc. You can seek all of this information on a consultation with one of our tax advisors as well. So moving on to corporate tax. Again, as soon as this hit the news, there was a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos in the business industry stating as to what type of businesses are qualifying for corporate tax and what type of businesses are not qualifying for corporate tax. So just so that you know, corporate tax is not as complicated as a lot of people make it out to be. The FTA and the UAE ministry has made it very, very clear what type of businesses qualify and what do not qualify. So the main qualifying criteria is for the corporate tax, and it would be a profit of 100,000 USD or the equivalent in dirhams, which comes up to approximately 365,000 dirhams. So this is the qualifying criteria. If you're having a profit of more than this amount, you need to be able to pay 9% corporate tax to the ministry. Again, 9% corporate tax needs to be paid to the FTA and the ministry in regards to a profit accessing more than AED 365,000 dirhams. So this is one of the main criteria. Now, another question that we get asked a lot is, I have a company in the free zone. Do I need to pay corporate tax? Yes, unfortunately, there is a loophole to this as well. So the UAE has currently designated free zones, which are known as the qualifying free zones. These free zones include, but are not limited to, DAFZA, JAVZA, DMCC, etc., which are exempt from paying the corporate tax. So if you are setting up your business in this type of free zone, then you are exempt from having the corporate tax filings. However, if you are setting up your business in a non-qualifying free zone, regardless of if you are doing business with another free zone company or a mainland company, you need to pay 9% corporate tax on the end of the fiscal year. Again, in corporate tax as well, if your business is outside of the UAE, if your free zone company has its main income derived from outside of the UAE, you don't need to pay 9% corporate tax or any amount of corporate tax on that specific income. Let's say, for example, if your annual turnover is 1 million USD, which is equivalent to approximately 3.65 million dirhams, you do qualify to have the corporate tax. We're talking in profit. So you do qualify to pay the corporate tax. However, if 60% of your business is outside, in this scenario, you will be exempt from paying the corporate tax on that specific income. So again, if you're a qualifying business, you do need to pay the 9% corporate tax. And this is again another big source of income for the UAE, and it also helps to regulate exactly the transactions that are happening in the country and how much you can maneuver your business in the UAE as well. So I have a few questions. I would say these are the most asked questions regarding VAT and corporate tax. So I will just get to it right away. Does free zone company also need to register for VAT? So yes, a free zone company really does need to register for VAT. Like I mentioned in the beginning, be that VAT or corporate tax, the company, whether it's in free zone or mainland or even on an offshore level, it needs to register for VAT and corporate tax. Registration is compulsory and filing might be exempt depending you meet certain conditions. What is the threshold to register for corporate tax? Now, I would say that this is kind of a very complicated question. So the question states, what is the threshold to register for corporate tax? So there is actually no threshold for registering for corporate tax. There is no threshold that I can tell you, okay, Mr. XYZ, once your company reaches a profit of 1 million dirhams, you can then register for corporate tax. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You need to register for corporate tax, ideally at the same time as you take your license up. So as soon as you get your license, you get your bank account in place, then you proceed to apply for VAT and corporate tax. There is a threshold for filing the corporate tax, and this threshold is 365,000 dirhams in profit annually. If you're exceeding this amount, that's your threshold, and you need to file the corporate tax accordingly. Next, is corporate tax applicable on free zone companies? Yes, very much applicable on free zone companies. Let's say, for example, you're having a free zone company which is conducting its business outside of the UAE, 100%, which is a very rare case scenario, I would say, then you are exempt. Apart from that, if you're having even the slightest bit of presence in the UAE, which is the reason most probably that you set up in UAE, then we need to, register you for corporate tax, because any entity that is having a valid license issued by any emirate of the UAE, any authority of the UAE needs to be registered for VAT and corporate tax simultaneously. Another question, which is in the same boat. So if a business is completely outside UAE, does it require to register VAT? Yes, actually, even if your business is completely outside of the UAE, you need to register for VAT, you need to register for corporate tax. It needs to be done. And this is one of the main things that a lot of the clients have confusion in. It really does create a little bit of a, like a mind game, I would say as such, which means that you need to either register or not register. Do I need to file? Do I not need to file? It's very simple. Registration is compulsory in the UAE, not in the UAE, or any other thing that you're doing. Needs to be registered, your company, 100%. All right. And apart from this, the filing is where the terms and conditions come in. I like to call it terms and conditions. It makes it easier, actually. So the terms and conditions come in when you are filing. So whether you're exempt or not exempt is highlighted in the points that I mentioned above. And of course, if you have any questions, you can let me know. You can always talk to one of our tax advisors. We are very enthralled to be able to provide this type of knowledge to you guys, and to also understand as we work with our experience how exactly the tax industry in the UAE is going to be changing. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that this session was knowledgeable for you. Please do subscribe to all our social media for the latest updates in the business and banking industry in the UAE. Thank you.